I don't want anything from you except for your story. I want you to tell me what you did with it and that you were protected the wrong things with it. And if you are able to do well, that you share your story with me, that how you helped somebody else. Maybe you lent somebody a helping hand by paying their mortgage because they lost their job. That type of stuff has an eternal reward. Plus, it feels amazing. They can't afford groceries; they're down and out, and you buy them a month's worth of it. That feels better than just winning in a trade. I'm telling you, folks, if you do these types of things, it's infectious. Like, it makes you feel good about being who you are, and people love you for that. They love you for that. And that's what we need, more of that. Not, I want to stand out on social media and be looked up to as a hero. I don't want any of you looking at me like that. But I do want you to listen to me, because the things I'm talking about, I believe they're going to help you and not harm you. I don't sell you millionaire dreams. I tell you that if you do what I say you're going to do, should do rather, you'll do well. And that is defined by the limitations you place on yourself. You can make it as much as you want, or if you just want to make your ends meet, that's what I think is the most reasonable thing to do. If you can find a way to make your largest expense each month through your speculation, to me, that's rich, because your major expense, the one that cripples you, if you don't have your total hours worked at your job or your second job, or your wife or husband working with you as a second income, if that doesn't happen, you can't make that major expense each month. So your ends don't meet. But if you have that major expense each month covered in your speculation, man, imagine that. Forget Lamborghinis, okay? Forget Corvettes, forget living a jet set life. Forget that. Start by making ends meet. I have a lot of students that aren't millionaires, but they don't work anymore. Do you think they're looking at Monday and groaning to their soul? Oh man, Saturday's already started, and it means I only have today and Sunday, and then I gotta go back to Monday again. They look forward to Monday because they know that they're not chained to the desk. They're not chained to their boss's limitations of when and how they can do something at the prostituted rate of return in exchange for their services to that employer. I mean, maybe y'all like being prostitutes. Maybe that's what you want to stay doing. You want to be pimped out by your employer, tell you got to work the corner Monday through Friday, and you'll get a vacation when they say you have a vacation. And you're not going to make any more money, but you better start doing more tricks, because the workload's increased and the staff has been reduced. So the Johns are all your responsibility. Maybe that analogy is a little too crude, but guess what? That's how I view working for other people. I don't have a pimp. And to me, if anybody just says, I'm going to just live my life living for my employer, you're cheating yourself. You're cheating your spouse, your significant other, your children. But how can you get to that level of wealth? Notice I said earlier, if you just have your major expense each month covered in your speculation, that's rich. You're a rich person if you can do that, because 98% of those individuals that you see passing you by each day, they can't do that. They don't even have an understanding that this can be done. Remember the first time you talked to somebody about Forex? Huh? What's a Forex? What do you mean you can make money by touching your screen and all of a sudden it just goes in your account? How can that happen? Where's it coming from? Whose money did you take? Is this legal? Yeah. So to me, it's amazing when I sit down with someone for the first time and explain to them what I've been doing my entire life. And they're like, how's that possible? Well, first of all, you got to understand that school is the indoctrination centers that make you stupid. All of us start out stupid. There isn't anybody that comes into this world and grows up as a child and is not falling out of the dumb tree and hitting every stupid branch. All of us are scarred with it. But the smart individuals, the ones that are thinking outside the box, okay, they get a taste of that bullshit and they think, there's something better has to exist, because I can't keep doing this. I got a wife, I have a husband, I have children, I have, my weekend warrior friends that I hang out with. But is this it? This is it? This is the American dream? I'm tied to a 30-year mortgage. I'm paying out my ass. And then the government tells me I better pay more rent and property taxes each year, or the thing that I own away. And I got to go back to that same place that I can't stand to work around the same people because they're in the same situation I'm in. They're miserable. You're forced to be among other livestock, and you're wondering why the place stinks like shit. You got to change your setting. You got to do that. Your employer ain't going to be like, you know what? You've been doing such an exceptional job. You deserve a new lifestyle. Let me make that happen for you. Don't report to work anymore. Stay home. Checks for nothing, because you deserved it. You did very, very well. You were outperforming your quota for the last 6 months. And instead of employee of the year, you get a new lifestyle. Wouldn't that be great if it did that? Like that's what you all worked for, that type of thing. That's the kind of pension plan that would really want to work. But obviously, that's fiction. That's never going to happen. But you're either going to eat crap and deal with that the rest of your life until you can't do it anymore. That means get old, body breaks down, and live a miserable golden age of your life because you didn't do anything. It's amazing looking back. I'm about to turn 50. There's a lot of things I wish I would have done differently. And some of those things I've covered in my series on YouTube. If I could go back and tell myself younger, what I know now, those types of things. And they're still the heaviest hitters. But I wish I would have listened to my uncle when I was 16, when he was first talking to me about trading. I wish I would have looked at it sooner because there was some significant opportunities that I could have taken advantage of right when I was 18. But, apart from the things I said in that series, there isn't any regrets. And I feel good about that I was willing to basically shun all of my friends, my family, my employers, and I did it my way. When everybody else said, it ain't going to be possible, you can't do this, that's a pipe dream, you can't do trading, that's a gamble, no one can predict the markets, no one can time the market. Well, I should rename myself. I should go out there and change my name to No One or Nobody, because you all are part of this collective now. We can see things before it happens. We can see what the market's likely to do next. And I make it public knowledge. There's a lot of you folks that were on the fence before January started. When I told you all last year that I was going to be teaching for free. Oh yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Hey, he's probably going to fall on his face and he'll just fade away into obscurity and nobody sees him again. Folks, there's been a large number of people that have been watching this unfold week after week after week since August of 2016. Now you all have a taste of it. It didn't cost you anything. You just had to keep showing up. Have I convinced any of you that it's possible? Have I convinced that I have a skill set that I am willing to lay in your hands for nothing, for free? And I get my rocks off doing it. I can make millions of dollars every single month if I said, here's the price tag. And here's the wonderful thing. You can trust what I'm saying because I'm saying, I don't want that fucking money. I don't need it. I am padded out for lifetime. So wouldn't you feel more comfortable with someone that, number one, can do it, could be making money off of you, could be fleecing you, and a whole lot of other people, leading the pack in education and mentorships and all that business, but still says, I love doing this for free? Doesn't that communicate consistency? Doesn't that communicate that the guy that's talking to you right now has no ulterior motive except for wanting to see you succeed? Because that's what I want. I want all of you to do well. I don't want any of you to look at things like I've discussed here that may be a little depressing. Maybe you didn't look at it like that. Man, I am being pimped by my employer. Maybe I am wasting my life. I don't want to be 50 years old and look back and say, I didn't do anything. I'm going to tell you something. The folks that are listening to this and don't do anything, when you turn 50 and you start thinking about the forks in the road, the choices you had laid before you and which one you took, you do not want to be, this guy did not ask for a dime. He proved it for months and I didn't do anything with it. How will your future self feel if you don't take the initiative now for free? See, you are watching me do it and others do it. And you may be thinking, I got time. I'll wait until something in my personal life, happens and then I'll be more focused to do it. No, you need to focus right now. Knocking. You going to answer the door? Opportunity right now is knocking. Are you going to answer the door? Because if you don't do it, if you don't start working towards it right now, I promise you in the next 6 to 18 months, you're going to be so overwhelmed with uncertainty, anxiety, fear because of all the shit that's going to be going on you're not going to be able to study. And you're going to be so panicked. You're going to be so fearful of what's going to be happening to you. Where are you going to make your ends meet? Are you going to be evicted? Are you going to lose your home? Are they going to take your car because you can't pay the note on it? You have to find a way to make income. You have to. Whether your job holds you as essential or not, you must have a way to feed yourself and your dependents. And some of you just think you got all the time in the world. That world is gone. It's crunch time, folks. It's time to get off your ass, put aside all those things you're wasting time with, and start working towards learning this skill set while you can. Get what you can. You have to get up, shake yourself, see the opportunity, and seize it. Take it by force. You cannot sit around and rest on your laurels. You sit around like a lazy ass, you will be crying. 18 months or less. That's the timeline. That's when shit gets really hard. Even for me. Oh, ICT. You're privileged. Nothing's going to bother you. Wrong, man. Wrong. I have kids. Okay. I have kids that don't still listen like some of you because they listen to friends, a families member saying, oh, well, you can do it this way and do it that way. And I'm their father and I'm living this stuff. They watched it and it's driving me nuts. Why don't you do what I do? It's like they've been like a spell's been cast over them. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. But it's not shocking to me when I see people that I don't have any relationship to. A lot of you folks that are listening to me, when you don't want to do anything. I understand that because it's like, okay, what's this guy trying to sell? What's he trying to get out of me? Nothing. I don't want anything from you. I just want to see in the last 1/3 of my life or whatever you want to call it, if I even lived that long, I want to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I've left a mark on people that gave me their time, lent me their ear, that I placed something in their hands of value that they can't really put a price tag on. Because honestly, when I sold mentorship, it was $155 a month for 12 months. And then one-time charter payment of $200. Now, some of the folks that were in my mentorship, that was a very hard thing for them to pay. Very difficult to pay. Some actually quit because they couldn't keep up with the payments. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you look at what I just gave away for free, that's sitting out there on YouTube, the videos are not going to come down. That right there is an ATM machine that cost you nothing. And it repeats every single week.